Welcome to Comic Art Live 11. I'm your host, Matthew Sardo, the IC3 showrunner for New Haven. This is the Hall Eye Spotlight panel. My co-host is cartoonist and program director of IC3, Jamie Jones. Jamie, welcome to the show.
Hello. How's everything going? How are you? How has your convention been handling for you? How has it been going? How's everything hanging?
It's a lot of nerves, man. When I hit that live button, I was like, please go live. But no, this show has been really exciting. And this is my first big virtual show. But this morning when things went live, I saw some traffic, I saw some movement, saw some social media going on. I saw some sales, I saw some saves, I saw some comments, lots of interaction going on with Comic Art Live 11. And this is pretty amazing.
Yeah, it's crazy that this is the 11th. They've been doing this 11 times. That's crazy. And here we are.
You have a booth. You have a booth, my friend, don't you?
I do have a booth. I have a booth. I have comics for sale. I've got art for sale. I've got all these kinds of things. Original art, some sketches, some pulp tober things that I did. Yeah, there you go. There's Hopalong Cassidy.
Talk to me about this guy. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. This is my favorite piece in your booth.
Oh yeah,
it is.
Are you a fan of Hopalong Cassidy, or are you just like the?
If you know the inside joke between Jamie Jones and I, the moon being involved in a piece of artwork in comic books is the most amazing thing ever.
Yeah, you like a circle behind people's heads. That's that is the Matt Sardo way. You want it to look cool, put a circle behind you, and yeah, put some shadow and some circles. You love a silhouette in a circle. That's what you like.
Well, I really like the Midwest. It's I don't want to live in the Midwest, but it is like my fun, happy place for vacations.
Yeah. I mean, Hopalong Cassidy is great. This was all a part of a Inktober, Pulptober thing. Scott Chandler, who is a Canadian cartoonist, put together a list last October, and I participated in that. And Hopalong Cassidy was on the list, and I like Hopalong Cassidy as much as the next guy.
I mean, I'm not going to show it because I want people to go to your booth, but the Dick Tracy is pretty amazing. You got Green Hornet, the Doc Savage I've shown people, and the Tarzan. That Tarzan, solid work, my friend. And then let's take this out, and then we can talk about panel layout here with this.
Yeah, we can, sure. Yeah, this is kind of the first time I put original art up for sale. I typically don't sell my original stuff because when you're self-publishing and you're putting stuff out, it kind of behooves you to save it just in case anything happens. I have issue 4 of SPAKOW is coming out, and I've lost a page somewhere, which I know I have. It's just somewhere. And I don't
know how I feel about that one at all.
Yeah.
Okay. So what book is this from?
This was from Superhero Comics Presents The Radicals. This was written by Monty Keene, drawn by me. Monty and I swapped stories. He did a story in SPAKOW #2, and I did a story for him in his Superhero Comics Presents. And this was a really fun story. He basically told me to just make really gritty Will Eisner. That's what he pitched to me, and I went, okay, that's right. That's in my wheelhouse. That's super fun to do. So, and it's 11 by 14 paper. Yeah, it's fun.
I almost want to say this has a Tom King influence on it here. There's a gentleman.
I don't know what you're talking about. Tell me what book Tom King has drawn that you can point to his influence.
I understand. But there is that almost 9 panels. There's a gentleman longingly looking outside, sadly. This feels very.
And therefore, boom, Tom King. You've been called out. You write people staring longingly outside of windows, Tom. That's all you do.
I didn't tell people our guests. We have 4 artists coming in, and we're going to talk about commissions. But I told them that we were going to ask them what their favorite character is to draw, but I didn't tell them that the answer is always Stingray. I didn't tell them that.
Hey, always Stingray. I think, have we all done a Stingray commission for Stingray? Is that? I know last year I did a
Hey,
Stingray.
Daniel, how's it going? What do we else that we got out here? We got number one Marvel fan, and then we got Rico. Thanks for
Rico
joining us,
Renzi,
guy.
what
And
a
then we got
guy.
Johnny. Lots of hello, hello, hello. I love it. I love it so much, guys. But okay, so with this panel, with this page,
Yeah.
walk me through. I want to say camera, but talk to me about where the eye is supposed to go in this with this page.
Well, you start at the top left and
Ah,
you end at the bottom right. That's typically how we read in America. In English-speaking countries, we go from left to right, and so that's kind of the flow of the page, Matt. What I tried to let me be a little more. Let me give you what you want. The black spotting, the placement of the blacks are trying to lead the eye into us, like panel one. The perspective lines are pointing into panel two. Panel two has that large black, basically arrow pointing down to panel three. Panel three is straight across, leading the eye to panel four. Bottom of
speaking of panel four, how come the card isn't zoomed in more? We're gonna go there
because now we have a card that's there and there's dialogue.
Okay.
There's got to be words around things. Madi did not write a like really dialogued script for me for this project, so I wanted to leave as much space as I needed to. Also, his hand is pointing towards the car, and then his hand is our card, and then his hand is picking up the card in the next panel. And yeah, full stop, big face. And
Not
then,
very happy. Not very happy. I do. Panel 8 is pretty awesome. I like that there, where you come outside of the room and you're the outside looking in. Very very voyeuristic, but I like it a lot. Very creepy.
yeah, it's kind of isolating.
Hi.
Yeah, this I think was the last page in that of the 8-page story. So yeah, super fun, great stuff. I love being able to sling some ink and some big chunky brush lines. So that's the thing I like to do.
Hi. And you're actually in your booth. You have a package deal for everyone.
Yeah, it's SPAKOW. Issue 4 comes out in June, so very soon. But you can purchase all 4 issues, and it saves you shipping. It's like you're at a convention. You're actually at the show, and you can buy the issues and get them sent to you. Issue 4 has the Ballad of Bare Knuckle John. That's the full black cover. Is the newest issue. It's coming out, yeah, in a couple of weeks. So or a month. I guess a month from now. But yeah, it's super fun.
For everybody watching on YouTube, comment below on which cover is your favorite. I want to see where everybody is with this. But no, tell us. So I read the first issue of SPAKOW, and I felt like this was like a fork in the road for you as a creator, that where you were kind of trying to find yourself or trying to like hit different techniques or it just explore emotions as an artist.
Yeah. So for the last few years, I started SPAKOW last year. But for the years prior to that, I had been working on the BABOON, my pulp action adventure comic that is also up on the site. And I have been doing that, and doing work for hire gigs throughout that time. And I did an educational comic that just killed me. I was done. I was tapped. I was tapped emotionally. My hand was tapped. Everything was done. It took me a year to do that project, and I just wanted to make something that I didn't really have to think about issue to issue. It didn't have to have any really outstanding continuity. And I mean, I like anthology books, specific like one-man anthology stuff. I mean, there's 8-Ball famously. There's neat stuff. Pete Bag's book, Hate, and most importantly is Rich Tomaso's Black Phoenix book that he's been putting out for the last several years, and it really just got me inspired and wanting to do something that I could just make things and do whatever I want. So Wizard Cowboy was the first idea that came into my head, and I was like, oh, I want to do something like this, something a little more fantasy, because the Baboon is very real world like type things. And I've had, you just write in a sketchbook, story begets story, idea begets idea. So you kind of get to this point where you have more ideas than you have time to do, or more ideas than you have a book for. So instead of doing one thing and just committing to Wizard Cowboy, I was like, oh, I'm going to do SPAKOW and make a bunch of different things and kind of follow my whimsy and whatever I want to do. Issue 4 is there's some guest art. Steve Stegland is in it. His book Rip Raygun finally has a home, and its home is in SPAKOW, and that's really exciting. For me to publish friends' works that I think really are spectacular. Steve's a great cartoonist. He's an award-winning editorial cartoonist out of Charleston, and just to have his stuff moved over into SPAKOW is really fun. But issue 4 is a full 20-page one-shot story of the Ballad of Bare Knuckle John, and that's been really fun to do. It has no Wizard Cowboy. It doesn't have the ill-fated darling, which appears in issue 3. Piston Bottle Rocket is in issue 2. So it's just just throwing stuff at the wall and seeing what sticks and figuring out where to go and what to do and kind of who I am as an artist and what I want to continue to do. I will preview the thing that I'm working on now. Issue 5. I'm adapting The Word of the Lord. I'm adapting Mark Twain short stories for issue 5, and that's my new thing. That's I'm really chasing my whimsy on that one. Is just Mark Twain.
And I put all the creators' Instagram handles in the bio section of this YouTube page, and you do a lot of process as well on Instagram. You show kind of before things on there. Because I remember seeing the painting of the Wizard Cowboy for the first time, and I was completely blown away by that one. And I told Jamie, do not ever sell that. If you're going to sell that to me. But he has other things available to buy, and you can go check out his booth. Kezra put the link of his booth in the chat on YouTube. Are you ready to bring some guests on this show?
Yeah. Who do we have first? Who do we have? Who do we got?
All right. So what do we have on my list? I have Ian Cinco from NYC. I have Wesley Griffith from Portland, and I have John Mungiello from Riverside, Jersey, and Tony Sedani from Boston. Welcome, gentlemen, to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Hey, guys.
Oh. Hello.
Okay, so the way this is going to work is we will interview each of you individually for about 15 minutes. However, while you are backstage, I'm not reading a script at all. You will draw from a list of prompts, and at the end of the show, we'll bring everyone back to compare what you've drawn. The prompts are Savage Dragon, Hellboy, Bone, and Usagi Yojimbo. And Ian, who are you drawing? Because I know you don't have a decision.
No, I do. I went with Space Usagi. I'm going Usagi.
Awesome. Tony, who are you drawing?
It's tough, but I'm going to go with my boy Hellboy.
Hellboy. John, who are you drawing?
I'm going with Savage Dragon.
And Wesley, what are you doing?
I got to go with the Seed of Destruction himself, Hellboy.
I feel like this is really good. I'm very excited. Jamie, where's your excitement level on this? Come on.
Listen, I'm going to try to draw Bone while we're talking. So that's where my excitement level is.
This is what I was hoping for, is that Jamie has this FOMO about him, and he can't have 4 other artists draw and him not draw as well. So I actually I put Bone in as a prompt specifically because I thought Jamie was going to pick that one.
Well, there you go.
All right. So who's first on the list? Tony is first on the interview, and I'm going to drop you gentlemen out. Give us a Pee Wee Herman wave goodbye. That's come on. There we go. All right. And we'll bring them back. Tony, welcome to the show.
Oh, thanks for having me. This is great.
How's your nerves been? Because my nerves were a little crazy for this starting off.
Yeah, drawing a prompt off the bat like that in 2 hours, definitely some nerve-wracking issues going on. But kind of used to it with conventions when someone comes and they want a commission that weekend. But at least with that, you get a couple days, but and not 2 hours. So.
Then let me see if I can bring you to the big screen and slide you over. There we go. That's what I wanted to pull off right here. This technology that we have these days. One of the reasons why I wanted to bring you on for the Hall Eye Spotlight is I love your sketch cover work. And do you have any sketch cover work to show us?
So everything I had at IC3 is almost gone, actually. I had like 25 pieces, but I have a couple left for this show in particular. And this one you might dig because you guys talked about something similar, but I did an homage to the first cover again, but this time I used the designs from the new line of the turtles. So,
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
And I can ask you, because like this is how I determine age groups and stuff. What cartoon of the turtles did you enjoy the most?
Oh, I mean the '89 one for sure.
The '89 for you?
The original, yeah, the original cartoon, yeah, for sure.
So you're pre Nickelodeon.
Yeah. Have you rewatched those first two episodes? The pitch, or like the pilot episodes? I mean, the animation in those is just incredible. But then when you get to the later stuff, it's just awful.
No, I have it with my kids. I have 3 little girls, and we have a minivan, of course, but it has a DVD player, and I bought them the original Turtles. So I only hear the original Turtles. I don't actually get to see them, which is really bizarre because I love voice acting too. But to hear all the different characters and different voices is awesome. And all the plots are just insanely bad plots, but awesome. It's really good. And my kids like it and stuff. And the opening is always a lot of fun.
Yeah, I was right in that sweet spot of the original Turtles, the comic, the toys. So it influenced me completely. I got another Turtles one that I did. I'm keeping this one black and white, but yeah, just a battle damaged Leo, a Cable, a little crazy.
Oh, nice. I'm looking at this on your booth right now.
Yeah, Hardak versus Metalhead.
Did you make action figures too?
For what? For you mean?
I feel like you made that Batman figure. Didn't you make that?
Yeah, I did. I made a custom animated series action figure. I actually just posted that a couple weeks ago. It was kind of just in the background. I was making that whenever I got kind of bored drawing. I just kind of work out this action figure. I don't know. It's just a figure I always wanted to exist.
No, that's awesome. I do see a kayfabe special in your booth. The Pro. I see you have the Pro out there. Isn't he the?
Oh yeah, right. Yeah, that was from the kayfabe, right? I remember that. Yeah, the XFL version I did. Yeah.
Nice. What else do you have to show us?
So I got a lot of just original pages that I've done over the years, but this was from the latest comic I did, the bruised cover, which I'm nice. Putting up for sale. And my book Return to Rander, I haven't sold any of the originals from that, but I've just got a couple of random pieces, like an alternate cover that I did for it.
And I do have it highlighted in your bio that you drew for the Tick.
Yeah, I've worked on the Tick I think like 8 times. I'm selling these two. These were unpublished pages. It was a pitch that I had done but didn't go anywhere. So
do you remember the pitch? What was the pitch?
It was a quarantine pitch. So just didn't work out. But it was just a 2-page backup story. So I got those for sale up on the site too.
Nice.
Yeah, I can see those.
Just a lot of actual published stuff. Just like this was from a book called Memoirs of the Mysterious. Right here. This was a story kind of inspired by the Twilight Zone, which I'm a big fan of the Twilight Zone.
Nice.
Got some FUBAR pages that I had worked on. That I got a whole story up there.
Yeah.
This is
scrolling through
an
your gallery
original
right now.
character called the Matador from my book Return to Render. So I got a sketch of him up there for sale if
Oh, that's
anybody's interested.
So what's you say is the Matador or she's
Yep.
the Matador? Wait,
He
who's
is,
she?
yeah. Yeah, this is my original character from the Return to Render graphic novel.
Okay, and so give us some backstory on the character. What's going on? And
Yeah, so I mean,
how many people are killed in the first issue? Or
so yeah, Return to Render is my first official real comic that I made. It's kind of like my art school in a way of making comics, and it's a mashup of like Kurosawa and Sergio Leone types of film just smashed up together. At least that's the style I usually call it. But and also a little mix of like Mortal Kombat violence in there. But the Matador is he's an evil character, a ghastly looking character with a mask who's searching for his brother for revenge. His brother is the lone savior right here, and he's trying to find his home and gets wrapped up in all other people's like problems and whatnot and can't help but do the right thing while he's also battling with who he is and who he should be, trying to find out who he is personally as well as where he's from. So I built that world, and now I'm kind of like branching out, just doing like short stories with the characters in there. So that's where that Bruised comic that I put out at IC3, I debuted at IC3. It's a wrestling comic, and I'm a big wrestling fan, and I always wanted to like do a wrestling comic, and I just figured like, why don't I just take my character and just like write a wrestling story around him, you know? And it takes place outside of that graphic novel, like later on, like 10 years away from that graphic novel, and I just plopped them into a story that had wrestling in it, and it was a blast. So just want to like draw fun things and tell fun stories.
how was it like choreographing wrestling in a comic?
Yeah, I think that's tough. I feel like it's really tough for people to like make wrestling comics like feel like wrestling. Yeah, I mean, it really does come down to a lot of like, can you convey like what the move the person's trying to do and keep the energy with it. Let me see if I.
Yeah, because I feel like the token, the stereotype image is off the top rope, like jumping off, like ooh, that's the splash page token image right there. But,
yeah, I mean, I got like this. One of my favorite moves I threw in there was some people call it the Gringo Killer. This one right here.
Okay, that's awesome.
Yeah,
because when Daniel Warren Johnson, he's doing Transformers, and he had like Optimus Prime. You do a couple moves in there and stuff like that.
Yeah. So and his do a powerbomb was just incredible. You know, the way he showed the moves, he like got them perfectly. But you know, like get some like suplex action going on here, things like that. So off the top, there you go, off the top rope.
Yeah, you need to always need off the top rope.
When you're pacing out like action sequences, or when you're pacing out stuff like a wrestling comic, are you Jack Kirbying it, which is like 4 panels, each panel's a different hit, there's a bunch of time in between the panels, or are you trying to figure out the sequence in between the panels and kind of
yeah. So like, I think it depends on the move, to be honest. Like if I'm trying to like set up a sequence of this move, like I'm showing how they're going to set that move up, and then you know the 3 parts showing it. I felt like it was more about like showcasing the best part of a move in a way.
Yeah.
Like this one, I just did a full page splash of someone.
Let me hear it. Let me bring you back to the big screen again if we're gonna show that. Oh, that's solid. That's so fun. Good.
But it's also mixed in with it's like not a flashback story, but what would you call it? Like it takes place earlier in the night, and then it's also showing what's happening later in the night. So like the wrestling parts are like a flashback to earlier in the night. So the storytelling is going back and forth. So it's actually essentially it's a one-shot comic, but it's also
Here, hold
you
that
get more
cover.
out.
Give us a good
You
view of that.
you get more out of it if you know the characters, essentially, because he's got some backstory with the character that he's talking to in between the wrestling scenes. So,
And is that comic in your booth as well?
yeah, this is in the booth right now, and like I said, the original's up for sale of this cover.
Nice.
Yeah, that's a new aspect to Comic Art Live this year. Is that there's a book section in the Indie Comic Creators exhibit hall. So make sure to explore all the booths, and I think they're nicely situated. The books are above the artwork, so you can like look at the artwork, and then as you scroll back up, you won't forget to check out the books as well. Are you doing commissions?
Yeah, I'm taking commissions, so I got some examples up there.
Nice. What don't you like to draw? What if somebody hits you up? What's on your no-fly list of commissions? Let's two-part it. What do you like drawing? What is
anything rated R and less? Like I won't go past rated R requests. But as far as characters and stuff, I'll try anything at least once. I mean, I'm not a big Doctor Who fan, but I've gotten like multiple Doctor Who's in the past, and I'm like, that's fine. Like I'll mess around with that. I think vehicles, like if someone asked for vehicles in a commission, is very difficult because you're not going to get your money back on your time, invested.
All right, so everybody request Doctor Who on a motorcycle for Tony.
Motorcycle. Man.
How do you feel about
I was thinking about this. Like, is there a character that makes you get experimental with your drawing?
Cable, I feel like. I like just getting a cable and just messing around with proportions and pouches and weird tech and stuff like that. He's a fun character to kind of explore new things and styles and things. I absolutely love drawing turtles. Obviously, I just feel so comfortable in just any style of the turtle too, or any character as well. I know there's a Shredder just got announced for a mini series, and they're putting out a blank cover. So I'm ordering a bunch of those because that'll be a blast.
I was very excited about the Casey Jones announcement.
Oh, that one too, yeah, yep.
I'm
a big Casey Jones fan.
All right, so what about MODOK? Because MODOK is a vehicle.
I'll do MODOK all day. That's fun. I mean, that feels like a great character to kind of experiment with and do wild things with, especially with color too.
Yeah, no, color is also. Oh, what's your favorite color? I guess when you're coloring books and like making panels, and you're like that, you kind of like, oh man, I use this color a lot.
Probably pink and red.
That's an interesting question, Matt. I like that question. Good question, Matt.
But I have to say the majority of my stuff is black and white though for interior work. I hardly do, aside from my anthology I put out. Mostly I just do black and white interior.
And you're not from Boston originally, are you?
I'm from a town called Brockton, which is like 20 minutes south of Boston.
Okay.
Yeah. The boxing town. Have you ever heard of it? Boxing City of Champions, where Brocky Marciano and Marvin Hagler are from. Yeah.
That's awesome. I was walking through New York City about a month ago, and I just stumbled past like this boxing ring, and they had like all this old school stuff up, and it was
cool.
Giant skyscrapers everywhere, and then like this tattered building that just not letting go. And I was like, man, the stories that are in this building have to be amazing. And I'm trying to think of it. So we're gonna do a boxing comic soon?
Yeah, that sounds fun.
I mean, I feel like that could happen. We'll have to work on that story there. So what are you dropping tomorrow? Anything you can sneak us a little peek of what you're dropping tomorrow?
I'm dropping some Return to Render, like micro comics, I would call them. They were like one-page comic strips that were a little more lighthearted. They were included on the graphic novel. Like I said, I feel too attached because it was my first comic project, but I've let go a lot of the backup stories and things that I've sold in the past. But just they're like 8.5 by 11 micro comics that are lettered and everything like that.
Nice.
Oh, cool.
So those are kind of fun. That relatively cheap and You get like a whole little story. What else am I dropping? Some of the bruised pages I'm dropping tomorrow, I believe, from the book. Some of the wrestling pages. I didn't have enough room to put everything, but if people are interested, they can contact me to purchase anything that's not listed. What else am I dropping tomorrow? I think there's a page from Bruised that I'm dropping tomorrow, just like an action page.
Oh, very solid, very solid. All right, so Tony, I'm gonna let you get drawn.
Oh, WrestleFaust.
WrestleFaust?
That's being dropped tomorrow too. Yeah, pages from WrestleFaust. It was like it was kind of just like a Hulk Hogan versus Vince McMahon
Cool.
short story I did. So I'm dropping some of those pages tomorrow as well. So, yeah.
Nice.
So there's wrestling, more wrestling. So.
Awesome.
But yeah, so I'll get working on a Hellboy sketch, and
all right. Well, definitely check your
in.
emails because it looks like Stingray has just hit you up for a commission via your account booth. I will give you one guess to figure out what commission he wants.
Stingray.
Yes. You are correct, my friend. You are correct. All right, Tony, let's take you to the backstage and you get drawn. I'm very excited to see what you bring to the table at the end. Thank you so much for your time, my friend. And we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you. I appreciate it. This is a blast.
Right,
I need to get better at drawing and talking, and I am not.
You are not talking at all.
I'm not talking at all. I know. I'm just like sitting here drawing. This is not great. This isn't entertainment. Who do we have on next? Oh, it's Wesley. Okay.
Oh, the
cool.
gun show is here. The gun show is here. Wesley, how's it going? Can you
going
turn your
well.
light on again and turn it off again, please?
Do you want the?
Oh, there it is. There's the gun show.
Tell us where the money is. Sorry about that.
Wes, how is your comic art live going?
It's going great. I got 2 commissions this morning and completed one of them. Would you like to see?
Oh yes.
Yes.
Let me make you the large person in the room. I don't want to be the large. You be the large person. There you go.
This is a Spider-Man commission I got this morning.
Nice.
Yeah, for Tyler, and I'll be working on his. The other one he requested was a Pulp Fiction commission, so I'll be cranking that out soon.
Cool.
That's really cool. Can you hold up that Spider-Man one more time?
Yeah,
Because,
sorry,
like,
I went by very
really,
briefly.
it's really fun. It's really fun. I like what you got going on there. Like, I
haven't drawn him I haven't drawn him in a while. And man, as I was doing all the buildings in the background, I was thinking like, I wasn't getting emotional, but I was like, man, what a gift that like Kirby and Ditko gave us in the terms of their shorthand for drawing like buildings that do not exist at all in real life, but they totally work. And like when you look at them and study them, you kind of figure out like, oh, like you really don't have to work that hard to make a bunch of skyscrapers as much as like I think I do in my head.
Yeah. Yeah,
so
isn't
I'm going
that the best
through
when you have that moment of just, oh, I don't have to do this.
Yeah.
people are smart enough and have we can fill in the space, right?
Yeah, it's always a great it's such a great feeling whenever you look at like Kirby, Ditko, or Toth and like figure out their shortcuts, and it gives you like permission to be like, well, if it's good enough for those guys, then like I'm okay with not drawing a car that looks like a car.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm looking at your booth now. You got a few books up there. You got Thunder Beast, The Jump #1, and Grotesque. That's awesome. And I feel like I'm really missing the boat on not remembering who Parker is. Who is Parker?
Oh, that's Parker from that's Yaphet Kotto from Alien.
Okay, there it is.
I should have just said that instead of the character's name.
I was sitting there. I was like, man, I gotta know. And I was Googling Parker, and it didn't come up, and like I couldn't find like a reference point there. But it's really good. I also like your. Do you have your Batman? Can you show it? Do you have your Batman? You can show us.
I should. Where is it? Yeah.
Or you can show us whatever's on top of the pile, and we can move from there.
No. I got Batman here.
That's really cool. I have like just a little thumbnail here, but the hands, those hands are, that's crazy. And I like the style of Batman. It's also in the same style as your Spider-Man, so it fits the world of Wesley. I love it.
No, I like. I don't know. I always. I think Golden Age Batman is super cool, and I don't know. It's always with that. I thought it would be. I don't know. I feel like it's always like kind of fun to like put Batman in a situation. Like I kind of wanted him to be in a weird place in that drawing. So like, you know, usually Batman, you see him in an urban area, and I thought it'd be really funny, or not funny, but interesting to put him like in a forest or a graveyard or something where it's like far away from Gotham City, or at least not the typical like Batman background. But yeah, I don't know. It's fun. It's been a while since I've drawn like the, you know, like big two like type of characters. It was kind of fun. Like I don't know. It made me feel like being like 16 again.
Yeah, because
do you find when you're doing work and you're making your own worlds that you just completely disregard any of the other characters? Because I end up not drawing. I don't know if I've drawn Batman in years. I don't know if I've drawn Spider-Man in years, right? It's unless somebody's commissioning it from me, I don't even think about them really. It's weird.
Yeah, I guess I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Like, it's like, yeah, out of sight, out of mind in a way. Like, yeah, you just don't think about them, and they don't. I don't know. I know they're not mine legally or in any way, shape, or form. But it is fun to like recapture, like when you are drawing it, and you know, like that Batman piece was like I did it to be a commissioned sample. So I just an example of like, hey, if like you're into big two comics, like I can do that if that's what anyone would be looking for. And I grew up a Batman fan, and it was like interesting in the drawing part of it to it's like recapturing that sense of like ownership that like one or at least I used to have over that character. Like, I don't know, like especially like, I don't know, like during like, you know, childhood and again in high school when I started like, you know, reading the more I don't know, it's weird to call them adult, but like Batman Year One, Long Halloween, like those books, those big important like big five Batman books that everyone is supposed to read.
And going through your booth, like there's a lot of like there's a horror theme going on there. You know, I see a Frankenstein, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, The Shining. I mean, The Shining is The Simpsons, but there's a nice little twist there.
The Shining.
Yeah, The Shining. What do we else we got? And then you have like some like Space Ghost and 1 Million BC and Godzilla, and I like the mix of the books of the prints that you have up there, or the artwork that you have up there. The Invaders. What's The Invaders?
That's one of my favorite Twilight Zone episodes. It's a silent episode of a woman living alone in a cabin, and these little spacemen show up in her home and try to do a little invasion of her home. And I won't give away what the twist is. It's a really great episode of the Twilight Zone.
Do you have the piece of artwork?
I do somewhere.
And you know,
yeah, a lot of the stuff that I have on there is from these different Inktober's that I did in 2021 and 2022. Unfortunately, my understanding of Inktober was wrong, so I just did what I wanted to instead of following a prompt. So I would literally get up each day and be like, what is some horror Halloween related thing that I enjoy, and kind of went at it, or just whatever was in my head that morning. So I think
you were doing Inktober exactly right. You were not doing it wrong. Just so you know, you were doing the right thing.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, whatever. Fuck the rules.
What else? What else do you have in your pile? I don't want to.
I have some original artwork that appears in Grotesque issue 1 that actually began life as an Instagram comic, and later I, refigured it for print. And it's this strange little 6-page comic called The Influencer, and it's about the idea of like this young woman's anxiety being an influencer, going online and like basically giving advice to everyone on the best ways that she can induce anxiety in this woman that she lives with, or like the woman whose brain she lives inside. So here she is, like on top of this sleeping woman on her bed, saying like, here, this is how you got to get people to have anxiety, is you got to get them while they're sleeping. So while she's asleep, a voice in her head, who is the influencer, says, hey, Andrea, you remember all that stupid shit you did? And then it just ends with her drinking a box of wine in bed, and her little influencer avatar is like, see, she's growing already. Yeah, it's a very silly, odd comic that was kind of a little bit, the beginning of it, the first line of dialogue is the woman, she says, a lot of people have been asking me, blah, 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 blah. And that came from something my girlfriend told me, where she was like, oh, it's just so funny being on TikTok all the time. Every influencer, like her first sentence is, a lot of people have been asking me. And I just thought that was really funny. So that ended up being in the little comic.
All right. So, are you doing commissions? Because you are doing commissions, because we saw one of them.
Yes, I am.
So when you're doing commissions, what do you like? What gets you going when you're when you get hit up, and what doesn't? Like what gets Wesley down, and what gets Wesley up?
I don't know. That's tough, because like actually like commissions this is sort of new to me. It's not something I've really done too much of. It's funny that the Tony in the last interview, he mentioned Doctor Who, because I remember one time a long time ago doing that, and someone wanted like one of the doctors, and I remember, because I'm not like really super into Doctor Who, it kind of like bummed me out a little bit, because I was like, man, like, can I draw like Magneto or something? Yeah, I don't know. In terms of, I don't know, I think maybe I would try to hopefully like approach it as just being like, well, it's a job, and then like, it's maybe like enthusiasm is secondary to like, doing what needs to be done.
My problem with doing stuff that like Star Wars or Doctor Who or things, these are things that are visual, that people have that are people are really attached to, and breaking from the design aspect of those characters that were designed for film, and then you're doing it in a 2-dimensional drawing, it always makes me nervous to do things. When you are approaching a commission and you get something like Batman or Wolverine, how much of that do you put yourself in, and you're like, okay, this is not how this is not the Batman design. I'm going to tweak it a little bit so it works for me, or I'm going to make it a little looser of a costume so it fits stylistically with what I'm comfortable doing? Or where do you think about that when you're designing, or do you think about that when you're going at it?
Yeah, absolutely. That's the nice thing about doing those types of characters, because for 80 years people have been tweaking the Batman design and putting their own little thing on it. It hasn't always been the Jerry Robinson look for like consistently. Even Spider-Man's costume has changed many times, and hasn't been around nearly as long as Batman, and like I don't know, it's just fun to do that kind of thing. Like like even going at Wolverine, like it'd be fun. Like if someone were to commission that, I think like part of me would be like, well, I'm going to do the one with the whiskers because that's a wild that's a pretty wild look for that character. Not a lot of people think about that when they think of Wolverine, but that's what he looked like when he first appeared and fought the Hulk and Wendigo.
Yeah,
because there's like there's a spectrum of Magneto or a spectrum of Batman, but there's only like one Mark Hamill, and so if you can't draw Mark Hamill, like Luke's not going to be good.
I'm so glad you brought up Darth Helmet. I was about to say Spaceballs. Darth Vader, because I think that helmet is such a nightmare to draw. I tried to do it one time, and I was so angry that I was like, I'm never doing this again. This is
it's tricky. It's tricky, and then the second you have to like rotate it a little bit, it sucks.
Yeah.
So props to all the Darth Vader artists out there.
Yeah, all those people, all those brave sons of bitches that took on those Star Wars comics to do that multiple times in many panels and had to draw him fighting and swinging a lightsaber around. Hats off to you, gentlemen.
Well, that was pre-social media, so everybody was complaining, but they were just not. You couldn't hear them.
Yeah.
I know from your Godzilla book that you like to kind of experiment with like ink weights in style. So like, is there a character that gets you to try to experiment on a commission, or like on art, on like when you're like, oh, I'm going to draw this and I'm going to try to stretch like my artistic legs?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe like if speed was something that was like I associated with them. Like if I were drawing the Flash, like it would almost be like at least, and maybe this is just me being lazy and wanting to apply shorthand. Like I'd be like, well, I don't really have to draw his legs. You could draw like dashes or the suggestion of them as they're running very, very fast.
Awesome. Do you have a sneak peek of what you're dropping tomorrow?
Tomorrow I have another single page comic called Missing Cat that I drew sort of like stream of conscious in a way. Like I was actually at a zine show in San Diego and was sort of just kind of sat down and did this however many panel comic it was with no real plan in mind, to just sort of sit down with a pencil and pen and paper and just see where it goes. And I don't know, I ended up really I don't know, once in a while like enjoy doing that kind of thing of just having no real plan and like seeing like what comic would come out of it.
Awesome. All right, Wes, we're going to let you go draw for a bit, and we are going to bring Ian on today. Well, thank you so much for your time.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Oh, Jamie's big.
I promised Ian that I would get really close to the camera when
thank you for
I interviewed him. So, hey, Ian, what's up? How are you?
I'm pretty good today.
How's your drawing going? You're rocking it out?
Should I show it or save it for later?
Save it for later, but are you rocking it out? Are you doing it?
I think I am. I
Good.
think I need to, you're bringing up experimenting on commissions, and I feel like this is the time to experiment. So I think I'm going to mess it up after you kick me off again and then try to fix it before you bring me on.
Nice. Nice. So what do you bring into the show? What's going on? What do you have for sale?
I guess I'll start with my books since that's the order they're shown on the site, right? I got Neon Spring issue 0. This is my main cover. And then I got 5 variant covers, each by one by me, but each by a different artist, including Brendan Graham, Alexis Zarit, who I think is participating in this weekend, if I saw, or at least the mystery sketch. Adam Fu is a street artist, and Alfonso Martin. And I've been actively working on issue 1 the last few months. And
nice.
Shout out our homie Eli and Cosmic Lion. He's putting out an anthology called Leon Cosmique. So that'll be the first time pages from issue 1 will be seen inside that. And then also I got my art book, Erotica. And this always comes with a custom drawing. People don't really have a choice. You have to get a custom drawing inside. I don't accept not to do it. There was one time where this old guy bought it. I said, "You want a drawing inside?" He's like, "Nah, man, there's enough drawings in there already as it is." But I insist on doing drawings. And then I got the K-Fam is a group of people who love cartoonist kayfabe, run by Brian Moss, Ed Piskor's friend. And we made this Hellboy bootleg together. And I did the cover. And this is another book that comes with a drawing inside. I do these custom Hellboy drawings inside.
So Ian,
Yo.
like, I need to know if I'm going crazy. Do you have a tail? Is there an animal walking around?
Yeah. I'm a Super Saiyan, man. Luna, come here. No, I got little Luna down here on the ground.
I was just
Should
like,
bring her
I just,
on camera? Luna, come here.
No, all our viewers are allergic to cats. Do not bring her on camera. Oh my god, that's
not a cat.
Giant dog. It's not a cat at all.
Your little cattle dog.
That's awesome.
I wish I had a tail. I wish I had a tail that could like do things so like I could do more than one thing at the same time, you know?
So
yeah,
what town was it that the gentleman did want to sketch?
Say that again? Oh, what town? I was in Union Square.
Okay.
I was tabling in Union Square winter 2017, I think. And it was so random. He was a really older guy and just came up out of nowhere, barely talked to me. I don't know why he wanted it. I don't know if it was for him or for someone else. And he was like, he bought it really quickly and was like super enthusiastic about interacting with me and getting a drawing. I was like, all right, cool. And that was at the beginning of my journey too. So I was like, oh, I guess I'm going to get a lot of that. And it never happened again after that. So
that's hilarious.
Yeah, it was funny. I did this last night. I'm real stoked about this. You know, like I feel like doing commissions and doing characters that aren't mine. I'm new to it. When I loved comics as a kid, I used to copy art. You know, I would just copy comic art. And then I got away from it. And then when I got back to doing comics, I was like really opposed to doing other people's IP. I hated the idea for some of the reasons you just talked about, but even just the fact that I didn't own it, I was like, why am I spending time making other people's IP more powerful? But that idea is like not in my head anymore. And for somewhere along the line, I changed my mind and I'm like really enjoying doing commissions. And I've been doing a lot this year. So like this Jubilee, I almost don't even want to sell her. And I did a Venom last night.
Nice.
That's up there a little.
Yeah, when I was on Instagram and the Jubilee came up, I was like, this thing is the hotness. It just popped. It just hit all the things, you know, and I was very excited when it like came through. And I like your interpretation of Jubilee. It's really cool.
Is there on the fireworks that are exploding? Is that like thicker paint? Is that what that?
Yeah.
It looks.
Like,
it looks. Yeah, that's cool.
It's really thick, actually.
Yeah,
I can't really see, but it is. It's tactile. Yeah,
that's
she's just such a radical, cool-looking character. Like, if I was a chick, I would dress like that 100%. It's like, if it was Halloween, I would dress like that. But usually, I just wear black.
But you have a sketch card as well.
Yeah, this is not for the mystery sketch. This is just, I wanted to crank something out before going to bed last night. Or actually, I did this morning before we got locked out. So yeah, little Batman.
Nice.
And I don't have anything to preview for tomorrow because I just don't. I'm gonna be doing as much as I can tonight. Before.
Well, you will have a drawing that you're drawing right now that you can.
Exactly. Yeah, that'll be up there for sure. And I'll show one more piece if I can find it. If I can't, maybe I won't. Yeah, and then I got this Nightcrawler piece.
Yeah, I was like, if you don't show me the Nightcrawler piece,
that's phenomenal.
Yeah, that's 11 by 17, and I know people like us really love, like, I don't know if you can see it. That's like thumbprints. I use my thumb on all that.
Yeah.
Stuff in there.
That's a Tony McMillan move.
A who?
A Tony McMillan move.
Oh right yeah, shout out Tony McMillan. I love that guy's approach to art, man. Cartoony.
So you're taking commissions during this weekend?
Yeah, I am 100%.
Anything on the no-fly list? Anything on the gosh, I don't want to draw that list?
Currently not. I'm like super open-minded at the moment, and I'm sure it won't last forever. I'm sure there will be a moment where I'm sick of something, Or maybe I'm just too busy to do commissions. But like right now, I'm not busy. I need the money. I'm really enjoying it. It's been awesome because I actually hadn't done it. You know, I'm 42 now and like love art, made so much art in my life, love comics, but I really never drew anyone else's characters except for copying them when I was a kid. So it's just crazy to be this old doing it for the first time and like loving it. I'm sure I will reach a point though where just like all I really want to do is make my comic, but it is kind of awesome. Like I think I mentioned when you guys were interviewing everybody before IC3 that I had a surgery at the beginning of the year and I couldn't work. Like I couldn't do most of the jobs I normally do. So I was like kind of freaking out and like in a way didn't have a choice and took commissions on. And it was like so lucky the confluence of IC3 and comic arts fans and just everything that's going on that it's like that it was there for me to actually be a part of. Really, it was awesome.
The biggest compliment I've seen is Ian has drawn a top 5 stingray. So we're gonna have to have an episode of the top 10 stingray commissions by Stingray. That'll be a nice little.
Thank you, Stingray. I mean, it was awesome. Stingray, we were all laughing because I didn't know who Stingray was, but a lot of people don't. But now I'm pretty familiar with the character. It's awesome. And I love seeing everybody's portfolios where they got like, you know, I think correct me if I'm wrong, Stingray. I think you showed me a Daniel Warren Johnson in your portfolio, which was nuts. And like it's just awesome to see all the different variations that everybody has in their collection. I love it.
And I have everybody's bio listed in the YouTube description below with like links to Instagram and everything like that. And I was just like highlighting words for everybody's like description or for their bio. And I want to know about like cyberpunk. Like I know why I like cyberpunk, but why do you like cyberpunk?
You know, I don't even know if I ever think in my head, I'm not thinking cyberpunk. It's just like when you have to label it, it's like, oh yeah, it is. What did I hear? I heard solar punk recently. Like I'd never heard of that before. My story's totally solar punk too. I'm just for whatever reason I got like when I came up with the idea for issue 0, it was just like a flood of imagery all of a sudden, and I got super dedicated to it. And then I was like, oh yeah, I'm doing sci-fi. I never intended to, but here I am. I'm gonna go full sci-fi, and it's been going on for years now. So now I'm just deeply entrenched in it. And when I wake up, I'm not like, how am I going to design this cyberpunk thing? I'm just like, I have ideas in my head and I'm just chasing them, you know? Maybe
looks like
taste is the wrong word. I would say more like being the muse, right? Like letting the muse flow through me and working every day.
Yeah.
You have a beautiful piece right over your shoulder and it's been sitting there the whole time. Like you got to talk to me about that. Yeah.
Yeah. That's, I mean, I paint, you know, I like in 2023, I think it was, I did a collaboration with a buddy. We did 50 canvases together and like hot off of the heels of that, I did that painting. And I haven't been painting much since. It's like, you know, you got to focus, you know, and I'm really trying to focus on comics, but I do love just painting big and painting weird or arranged. I love painting everything. I have like, did I hear Jamie say, was it in the green room or was it like on this where you said ideas beget ideas? It's like that, you know, it's like, there's no shortage of ideas. It's like the more I work, the more there is to do and I can never catch up with it. And I just try not to let it overwhelm me because it can get really overwhelming if you let the anxiety creep in about what you're not accomplishing.
Yeah,
you know?
For sure.
Yeah.
And you got Neon Springs. You glossed over it, but what is Neon Springs? Your book that's for sale in the year.
So this issue is really easily described as like there's a group of I guess you'd call them paramilitary mercenaries that stalk the city with a car, and the car extracts people's brains. So they go on brain picking missions. And when a mission goes astray, they bring in my character Zuzu, who's riding on the back of this motorcycle here. And they think she's a sex bot, but she's actually not. She's on a deep espionage mission. Zuzu's recruited to help lure a victim into the car. And then with her comes Neon Spring. And Neon Spring, I'm not going to explain what that is right now. I feel like I'm very ready to explain it, but it's kind of meant to be a mystery. It is a corporation within the story, though. That's that I can say.
When did you originally write this story? Like, when would you write that story?
That issue, I wrote on a plane.
What year?
2017, I think, was when I wrote the first draft.
Well,
2018, maybe 2017 or 2018, on a plane to and from Denver, or LA Denver trip that I did. And then there was a lot of rewriting and time wasted and doing other things and getting sucked away from it. And like a lot of people, it was the pandemic that finally was like, all right, you got no excuses anymore. And I really did. I was able to do it.
I'm gonna make you smaller, and I'll get in there, because Neon Springs, I'm not gonna spoil it for you, but like, you need to read the book. And then the fact that he wrote this in 2017 is just bonkers amazing and very interesting and very almost Simpson-esque.
I have a Simpsons moment. Yeah. Without spoiling too much, here's a little ear flying off. And yeah, I felt I didn't feel good that day when that current event hit the headlines. I wasn't freaking out, but I was like, maybe I should just like never show this to anyone ever again. And then, my rational mind calmed my irrational mind down. I was like, all right, just chill. Just keep doing what you're doing. But yeah, I don't know. There's a political figure in there who I'm considering taking out. There's like a lot of dialogue that comes about when you have a comic out. And one of the number one criticism is he's distracting, which I do agree with. But we'll see. I don't know yet. I can decide that when I'm actually doing it, when the time comes.
Yeah. There is definitely, you get to points where you're like, what am I doing? How, does this work? Does this distract? Does this go hard?
Yeah.
Do you want to be a political comment?
I think in the long run, it wouldn't be political. It would just like, that's politics, or like the politics of the story. And I've written some really fun stuff for it. The only thing I'm worried about is just like the amount of comic stores that would definitely say no. Because a lot of them I can see the unease in their eyes. It's not that they don't like me or they don't like the comic. My hometown comic store is a family comic store. They don't. It's not even the violence and the sex isn't even what upsets people. It's just the fear of either kicking the hornet's nest, I guess you would say, or like upsetting people who would get upset by that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So my thing is now go to this booth and go buy yourself a copy of Neon Spring. Because
let me
if you're scared to put it in comic book shops, this is something you have to buy.
I am not scared.
I'm
not scared. I'm trying to get it everywhere. I'm always trying to get it out there. Maybe I'm scared, but I'm doing it. You know what I mean? Yeah. But I do want to just, if you're about to boot me off, I just want to say I have a bunch of different options. I have an option where if like you got the dough and you want everything, you don't have anything in mind, you can get everything in mind, including not a mystery sketch, a sketch card. And then I kind of have like, various tiers where you could get just erotica, just, odd jobbers, or just all the covers, or if there's a combination that you want to, that isn't represented there, just message me and we can figure it out.
Nice.
So I'm not going to boot you off because I need to know, there's one question. I need to know, what is the most amount of eyeballs you've put into a sketch before?
Oh man, yeah, I haven't even done I have like an eyeball inception piece that I want to do like really big someday. I wish I had the piece with me right now. It's a pretty big piece, and it's literally like there's an eyeball pilgrimage happening. They're like going down and up and around, and it's like it's got ancient qualities to it, with ancient structures, and then like alien, like futuristic things swirling down, and the eyes are just swirling through it all. I wish I had that piece is somewhere else. I don't even know where it is right now. But yeah, I actually had a what are doctors called who work with eyes? Optometrists? Is that what they are?
Yeah.
Yeah, I had someone who like works in an experimental field with eyes, and she was in love with all that stuff and bought a bunch of that, like some big prints and things like that. That was cool. But yeah, I don't know. I will say real quick, eyeballs were like they're like visceral and they're fun for everybody to draw. But when I was getting back into art, I wouldn't say my confidence was low, but my abilities and confidence weren't like super high. And like just drawing circles and eyeballs is like kind of easy and fun. And I just started morphing that into every shape you could imagine. And it's helped me become a very fluid draftsman where I'm like less afraid to draw things, because just drawing eyeballs swirling around, like you just start drawing weird forms. And it helped me improve, really, no joke, in many ways.
That's fascinating.
It's really cool. And like, it's, that sci-fi element, that cyberpunk, like all that stuff kind of fits into those crazy eyeball drawings somehow. I don't know why my brain goes there, but it's really cool. But Ian, Thank you for your time. We will bring you back when you have your artwork ready.
Thank
I'm
you,
very
guys.
excited for this.
Appreciate being here, man. This is awesome.
And we are going to go to John Mungiello, sorry. Hey, John, how's it going?
Hey guys, how's it going? What's up?
So what do you got at the show, John? What wares are you hawking?
Good question. I got some stuff. So, well, the thing I'm most excited about is I'm selling a preview issue, first 40 pages of my graphic novel. My first one coming out. It's supposed to come out this winter, hopefully. So,
nice.
If you want to get a little taste of it, and I'll also do a sketch in the back because I got a little area there for that. Nice. There's the back cover.
This book is wild looking.
Thanks,
I got to see it at IC3. Got to look at the original pages. It's wild. It's great.
Thanks.
Really dense. Really great ink work. Yeah, it's awesome.
Thanks.
Lettering on the page.
Yes, I decided to do all my own lettering because someone told me I wasn't that good at it, so I was like, I got to get good at it. So I kept going.
What's the book about?
So this one, it's the fun synopsis is that it's a story, an origin story of Mrs. Claus. Because I was like, she doesn't actually even have a first name, so I decided to give her more of a character and a personality. So she's Eve. So it's her story, Santa Claus's story, and then the Krampus monster story, all their origins. But it's actually about a marriage that's kind of dwindling, and they have to find a way to kind of find the better parts of themselves to rekindle it. So that's kind of the other part of it.
Oh, that's the non-fun part of the story?
Yeah, I think it's the more important part, but that's fun. So I was pretty proud of this one. I was working on it all the time, in between teaching classes, in the car, wherever I could do it, which has been good. So I got really good with this inking brush. And went through about one of these a page, so that was fun.
Jamie, what is that brush? That's
the Pentel.
Yeah,
that's the Pentel brush.
Pentel brush tip. Yeah, it's awesome. So you can refill the cartridge, so you're good to go.
Yeah, you squeeze it, and it floods the bristles, so you can actually. It's like inking with a brush without having to dip a brush into ink. You got a little well in the base.
It's perfect for the artist on the go that's got to work a bunch of jobs, as we all do. So that's the thing I'm most excited about. And I was also going to give everybody, it's going to be $40 for the book, but you're going to get a sketch card with a character of choice. So this way it'll be a little more personalized, plus a sketch in the book.
Nice.
I forgot to bring the original with me, but I was really happy with this one, so I'm showing you the colored print. I'm selling the original, this absolute Batman piece, and Mike Spicer actually colored this one, which is pretty cool. So.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it was actually funny. Someone actually thought it was a real cover for DC. I wish it was. So if they're listening, put it out there. So I'll give them the print too.
That boot with teeth is awesome.
Thanks, man.
And
it looked like it
hurt on there too. It's a lot of fun.
And then I got some other originals up, but I actually brought my portfolio to my classroom to show my kids, and I left it there, so I don't have those. But tomorrow I was going to put some originals from Eve up, so you could see that. Nice. 11 by 17s.
Well, hold that Batman piece up, so we can talk about it a little bit more. So
this guy.
Yeah. Oh, who's the villain?
I just kind of made it up, but he had in the book, there's like the Black Mask kind of goons. So I just sort of riffed off of that one and made my own version of it. And it's a little bat going down a stairwell.
And it's funny because Absolute Batman is kind of like serious and dark or whatever, gritty. But then you have the bat symbol on the boot with the teeth. So then you have like that homage to like the 60s Batman where it's like, we got a bat boot,
Yeah. I feel like I like the dark stuff a lot, but I also, really love The Simpsons and things like that. So trying to bring all of my interests together as much as I can.
And then there's a lot of tones in the cape. Like, what were you trying to do there?
Yeah, so the cape's just kind of all unwinding and kind of wrapping around everything. And I used a lot of the screen toning in there just to kind of offshoot it a little bit so that it's a little easier to see the characters and the bats. It also just kind of looks cool too. But
is the screen tone digital, or was that applied traditionally?
No, it is applied traditionally. I got
Nice.
some on the side here for the Savage Dragon piece. I'm going to give it a try.
Nice. Cool.
So that's my favorite of my recent pinups that I've done. And then here's just a couple more pages from the book, some of the bigger ones.
Dang.
Thanks, Jamie.
Yeah, your shadowing and rendering, that run looks great. Like it's the fade in it. Yeah, this is dope. Are you doing all of the pencils traditionally as well, or are you printing them off in blue line?
So for this book, I actually did do them on the iPad and then printed in blue line because it was easier to bring my iPad to work than all my pages. But I'm working on saving up for a nice little desk in our apartment. So the next book, I want to kind of just go right to the boards because I find it's quicker. I get too obsessive about all the little details on the iPad that nobody's going to see. So I want to speed it up a little bit. So I might change. But we'll see. Changes with every drawing.
When you get the desk, where are you going to put all the house plants?
We'll probably just go right around it. And also all the comic books. That's the problem. I have to sell comic books so I can get room to make comic books.
Yeah. That's the big thing about collecting and making stuff at the same time. It's like how much can you actually put? I just moved my apartment, and it was mostly just books.
Yeah, same for us.
It's hard to like be like, all right, well, I don't need this anymore. I'm gonna not take it, or I'm gonna sell it. And it gets to the point where you're like, well, this stuff, it's like, what if I reference this at some point? I'm gonna
that's it. Yeah, me too. I'm like, oh, but I might need to draw that face at some point in time, or maybe it'll give me an idea for something new. And then I hoard everything and run out of money, and then have to sell commissions online.
Yeah, exactly.
The one life advice that I know is tried and true is at 35, switch all your long boxes to short boxes.
Good idea.
It will save you. It will save you.
Good idea. This is another one. I like that panel a lot.
Oh, that's crazy. That's really good.
Yeah, that's great.
And I'm not going to sell them, but I just kind of wanted to show it because I found them when I was going through my thing. These are character designs for the next book I'm working on. That'll probably take a lot longer, but so that's the heroes, and then these are some of the villains from the story. I'm excited about this one.
Are you writing that one?
Oh, I'm sorry. What did you say, Matt?
You writing that one too?
Yes. I'm writing it, drawing it, everything, lettering it. Yeah, it's fun. I like doing it all myself. It's just every part of it is interesting and fun in a different way, so it's good to learn it all, the inside outs. Coloring, I'm not the most. I don't love it, but I can do it. And here's a weird page from Eve. It's a good one.
That tongue at the bottom is so.
Thank you.
It's wild.
Yeah, the veins were really fun to draw.
That's bonkers.
So, are you're doing commissions for this convention or for this weekend?
Yeah. So I'm doing 9x12 commissions, and I'm also doing little 3x2 sketch cards because that was a lot of fun. I had a good time doing that at IC3. So
nice.
Do you still have some of those IC3 sketch cards left over, or did you get new paper?
No, I used them that day. I did, which was great. I ended up using them, so it was good. And I gave you the bigger one.
I did. I do know that Beta Ray Bill. I recognize that one in your booth.
That was fun. After I drew it, I was like, I could write a whole story about this, but I can never put it out. So
you can bootleg whatever you want.
That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking. Oh, and also tomorrow I'm gonna put up this book that I self-published. It's just a portfolio book of some of my commissions and things and pages, little comics.
Nice.
It's pretty fun. You can buy it on Amazon too, but if you buy it for me, I'll do a sketch in the back. So
I know we don't have a picture of it, but you did a very interesting Stingray commission like I've seen like in the spectrum of Stingray commissions, you talked about the direction you went with that one.
Yeah, that was really fun actually, and thanks for asking me to do that, Stingray. And he's also a great guy. I got to meet him at IC3 at the Drink and Draw, so that's good too. But I actually was struggling a lot with it because I kept wanting to copy that Daniel Warren Johnson one that you got because it was so cool. And then I tried to go so it was going to be him underwater, and all the fish were going to be kind of coming up, but I just couldn't get it to work. And I was drawing actually in my classroom on my prep period, and I have a couple kids that come and draw, and they were watching me draw on the screen. And one of the kids suggested I should have them coming out of the water instead. So I was like, let me just try it real quick. And I started doing it, and then it was there, and I got it. And then I went. So it was like kind of banged my head against the wall for like 5 days, and then that 1 second, it worked. I think because of the pressure of doing a good job in front of the kids. And then it just clicked, and I was like, oh, now there's a story there. He's coming out of the water. There could be whalers. The whale's coming out. I watched Jaws recently, so he's eating the guy, even though they might not do that. And then I just started having a lot of fun with it and adding sound effects, and the coloring was great. I never actually did color commissions, but I used to paint a lot when I was in art school years, like 20 years ago. But that's what I studied, so it was fun to bring that back into it, which is why I think my next book I might color.
Nice.
And there's a request of what level do you teach? What grade?
I teach high school. I've been teaching for going on 11 years. And now I'm at a vocational tech school back in my hometown, so it's been pretty fun. And I got my own classroom, so I put a drawing board there so I can draw at work, draw at home.
That's awesome. That's great.
I shouldn't show the Savage Dragon yet, right? Save it.
No. Keep that. Save that. Let's reward everybody at the end. That's
that's been fun to do.
What are your like when you're drawing? What gets you going? What's your kind of the commissions that really grab you? What kind of stuff?
That's a good question. I mean, I at this point I feel like I'm open to anything just because it pushes me. What I've been thinking about more recently is how to kind of add more environments to my work, get some backgrounds in there to help tell the story. So I feel like I got it with the character, but I want to get better at that. So kind of pulling the camera back a little bit. So whichever character you want, I'll probably do that.
Nice.
And I bought this 10-point divider thing, which I can kind of know how to use, sort of, but it helps
these
with
things. Man, I want one so bad.
I just tried it today on this commission on the Savage Dragon, so I'll let you know if it's any good. But
all right.
So I gotta make good use out of it because it's like $90.
I know. That's what kept me from getting one, but they're so cool.
I took the dive.
And without like showing me like what, or you can show me on a different piece of paper, but what is that tool for the people that have no clue what YouTube people are talking about?
Well, so here I'll show you on the little. This is the little doodles I was doing to figure out the Savage Dragon. But basically, like your perspective, your vanishing points would be like out here somewhere, and I don't have enough drawing space to actually make the little dot and kind of draw every single line to there. So what you could do is just kind of draw roughly what you want, and then you could use this to measure out the distance. And if you make the little dots where the points land, it'll actually go back to where your vanishing point should be, which is a convoluted way of saying that it works well and gives you lines that are actually in perspective.
Okay, so it helps you. That tool helps you with perspective.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very short answers to this. That's great. So when do you get like experimental, or are you still trying to find yourself as an artist?
I feel like I'm always trying to find myself as a person and an artist, but
this isn't therapy. Whoa! This isn't therapy. That's another panel, like at 9:00 later on. We'll meet you there.
I'll sign up for that one too. I need it. But really, with every commission, I try not to think about even my style. I'm just like, who's this character about? What story am I trying to tell? And what techniques do I need to do it? So like the Galactus commission I got, which was really fun at IC3. for that one, I actually ended up using collage techniques in the background because it just worked better for the story I was trying to tell. He's eating Earth and it might deserve it, so I was showing all the bad things about our Earth behind there, and I could have drawn them all, but it would have been distracting from him. So I cut up a bunch of stuff and put it around, and it clicked. So yeah, I just try to approach it with what's the project and how can I figure out the techniques to fit the story. It's always about the story, even in a pinup.
Everybody go to John's booth, and he has the Galactus in there as a commissioned example, and you can see the collage work, and it is bonkers good. It is
Thanks.
insane. And then because you did the whiteout in it and stuff, let me see. I can't
Yeah. I used a lot. It was like colored pencil, whiteout, marker, Copic marker, some Posco markers, some watercolor. I just kind of went crazy, and it worked.
And
doesn't always.
Right, but you also are showing the horrors of the Earth in the background, and so you're like, yeah, Galactus, you can use this. It's fine. It's very dark. It's very amazing, but dark.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I think that's my sense of humor. It's funny, but a little dark. Usually I'm laughing when I draw these things. Everybody I think thinks I'm crazy, but I find it really funny.
So how long did it take you to come up with that design for Galactus? Because I saw that you penciled out like 2 or 3 savage dragons. Like, is that your process that you do when you're like
usually. Yeah, usually. So I'll do it small because it's easier to see if it's working small, if the shapes are there. I think for the Galactus, I did maybe 2 sketches, and then I settled on the second one. But I usually find that the first one's the one I end up always picking, to be honest. But it's good to try other things because you never know. But yeah, that one, I did that. And then I did like a rough sketch on the iPad, just kind of roughed out the shapes, and then kind of built off that on paper. It was fun.
All right, let's see if I can bring this up real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's worth it. It is totally
there
worth
it is.
Oh, yeah.
I'm really glad I didn't break the stream trying to find that photo. That's all I was worried about. But this thing is, how did the movement is crazy.
Thanks, man. That's what I was trying to definitely get movement in it, which was difficult because he's so big, and the paper was only 9x12, so I was like, I had to figure that out. So I tried to put it all in the hands, like he's standing and his hands are coming in. And that made it a little easier to deal with.
Yeah, because the scope of Galactus, to kind of get them all in, like, how do you decide what you're cutting off and what you're keeping in, like, and then the perspective of size with the Earth, and then the collage element, like this is, and then the glowing eye of Galactus and the sparkles of
that helps
under Inky and stuff. I'm like, it's just, and then
Thanks.
It's one of these things where I'd like to just dissect art. And if Anthony, for the editor-in-chief of Monkeys Fighting Robots, was here, him and I would just go through every one of the collage pieces and be like, well, what does that mean? What does that represent? What's going on here? And so good. So good.
Thanks, Matt. Thanks, Matt.
See if I can not break this here. So I didn't break the stream. All right, John, we're going to send you back to finish off your drawing, and I'm gonna give everybody like 5 minutes to finish up what they're doing. If you can hear me, Wesley, Ian, and Tony, and Jamie and I are gonna confer and bring everybody back.
Yes.
How we feeling, Jamie?
How am I doing? I'm here. We're alive. We're doing the thing. We got through it. What do we have? We've got 30 minutes left of this big shebang.
Yeah, more or less. No, we have 30 minutes. I think is what the timer says up here. Everything.
One of the things that I really love about IC3 and the indie comics community is just the vast array of artists that you get at these kinds of events, and styles and techniques. the pendulum swings really hard. You can go from like really hyper cartoony to hyper realistic, table to table, right? And in a community and in an industry where art has such a big swing, right? You can have people who are doing Bigfoot cartooning and, you know, superhero, realistic superhero stuff in the same world. It's cool to see that really condensed down to a smaller group of people. Yeah, and I think indie comics and self-published and independent work is where you can really see an individual shine, whatever they're doing.
Yeah, and with Hall Eye at Comic Art Live, just scrolling through everybody, like I see, you know, Jim Rugg has some stuff going on there, Ken Landgraf, Paul Kirshner, and Paul's got some original art from the early 80s that he's listing, and it's just really cool to see everybody and then just all what they're kind of putting up in their profile. Like I'm a nerd on like the setup and like what kind of like trends I start seeing, and like
Yeah.
so going from booth to booth to see like what people are putting up that represents them, what represents them as for commissions, and then like what books that they're putting in there as well, because you know, that's a new section for a booth exhibitor for Hall Eye, is that they're able to put up 6 books. And I was like, for myself, I was like, oh man, I put my 6 books in, and I was like, oh, I filled it up. And then like you and Ian are like, well, I'm just selling a group set of books, and like
Yeah.
you can get them all, and I can fit everything in there. So just the ingenuity of indie creators and making it work, seeing how they're promoting themselves. This Comic Art Live number 11 has been so much fun for me, has just to sit back and see what people do with it.
Yeah, I think it's also really great. You know, you get guys like Jim Rugg, who are bigger name creators, and Paul Kushner, right? Big name guys, bigger name creators, legacy creators, who are in that independent world, and they're you know, the bar at IC3 is everyone's on the same level, right? You're coming into the convention at the same playing field, where that doesn't happen necessarily at a lot of other conventions. This Comic Art Live kind of is the great, you know, the great consolidator, right? Everybody is on the same playing field. We're faceless, right? We're online. It's just you're clicking through stuff. You're figuring out what kind of work you like and who you're looking for, and to put everybody in the same room of, you know, there's what's the most expensive piece, $300,000, to see, you know, if you go to that little search engine, it goes highest price first, it's 300,000, and then you go to lowest price first, I think it's like $5. That just to have that in the same world, in the same conversation, I think is really interesting and really great. I mean, but this is all things people know. I don't know why I'm saying it. You could everyone here, everyone who's watching, they all know what this thing is. And
I'm just letting everybody know now. Do not go to Ken Landgraf's booth, and do not buy the ROM Space Knight. That's mine. Do not go there and do not buy that ROM Space Knight. He's got all this original art for $50.
Yeah.
That is insane.
That's the other thing, is it's a lot of guys who are, you know, the older legacy guys, they're doing stuff and it's completely reasonable. There was Umberto Ramos pages for like $250. I saw on the thing. I was like, what are we talking about here? This is crazy. So that's, yeah, it's really cool. You know, this is a really cool event, a really special event.
And I'm really excited. Yeah, I'm
Matt,
really excited.
If you could buy one piece of art, not necessarily on the list of things that you saw, but like, is there something, you know, in future shows at OAX or at things, if you could buy something, money is not an option. you do not have a wife and kids. You don't have to worry about this.
So I work for CAF, and I work with OA. I work at OAX. But thumbing through Marco Rudy's portfolio was just mind blowing, and I can't wait to like see him again. Hopefully at the next OAX, or chat with him at a different convention, and just kind of walk through his portfolio and how he does things. It's, one, I think he's an awesome person. Just like meeting him and talking to him, like there's a cool artist energy coming off of him. And then his artwork is super spectacular. So he's made my list. He's made the list right now. People I want to get a commission from. And then Jim Rugg's been doing the ballpoint pen artwork, and there's something at my core that just, I need one of those. Because he does it on the line paper. It's very, the artwork isn't high schoolish, but it feels like some epic high school, like the beginning of the movie where like they have that animation and stuff, and it's awesome. All right, so I have to reflect that back to you.
Oh man, I mean, I've said it before. I'll say it forever until the end of time, or until I own a piece. But Jack Cole did some Playboy stuff, and it's my favorite. It's my favorite cartooning of all time. So, some Jack Cole Playboy art is high up on my list. But you know me, I'm an old. I love strip stuff. So Milton Caniff, Terry and the Pirates, that kind of stuff. I'd love a Frank Robbins, Johnny Hazard, right? That's where my brain is. The older I get, the more old my tastes become. So I get more and more put into this old brushwork, inkwork stuff. I mean, a bunch of like newer artists. I love Matt Allison's stuff. I think he is really a really cool inker, a really fine artist. Yeah, there's just a bunch of stuff. I like the cartoons. I like the old brushwork guys.
All right, let's give our artists a 30-second warning. Because you have a cartoon sketchbook, don't you?
I do. Yeah, I have a sketchbook that I bring around to conventions and have people draw in. It's really fun. It's all old comic strip characters. That's the theme of the book. I had some at IC3. I got some really great. Dean Haspiel added to it. Chris Anderson added to it, and Christian Messimo added to it, and that was really great.
I've established my thing with commissions now is I get them in threes. So I got 3 Astro Boys. I got 3 Turtles the year before, and I need to figure out what the next 3 commission is, because I have a spectrum, and then I can like put them on the wall in like the threes, and it just visually, the design element of me is like, we got to do it in threes. If we don't do it in threes, it's not gonna work. All right, let's go see what everybody has drawn. Bringing Wesley back in. This is an episode of Chopped. You're welcome to the food channel. You've had your ingredients. You've had 45 minutes. What have you brought to the table?
Everyone's still frantically drawing.
Wesley, are you done?
Yeah. Let's see.
We'll give people some time. No reveals yet. No reveals yet. What commission would you like to get from somebody? What artist would you love to get a commission from?
An artist I would love to get a commission from. God, I mean, having you just mentioned him, Jim Rugg would be really cool.
I need everybody to put their headphones on. If you're on YouTube watching this, you put your headphones on. You can hear all the pencils and the erasers and the markers. The intensity of this episode just ratcheted up here. I really should have posted game shows in a previous life. This is so good. We are
not too late. It's not too late.
I know. I really want to say pens down, but I also want you to finish too. I don't want to be that mean guy. So I'm gonna make.
I'll be the mean guy. Pens down. Everyone's done. You're done. No more drawing. Matt thinks he needs to be nice. I don't. I wear a bow tie. It's deceptive. See, you can be mean when you look like a fool.
Oh my God! Did the pans just go flying? What happened there? All right, let's. Who's done? Tony's done. Tony, we're gonna make Tony.
All right, I threw my pen down. I kind of bit off more than I can chew with a completely black background, so that took up a lot of time.
Before you,
Nice.
Wow!
Hell yeah.
Nice, man.
That is awesome.
Hell yeah, Hellboy.
Sick.
What we
I never did it with
I
the full horns before, so I figured I'd try that out.
you got to hold it up too. So while we.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
So what were you thinking when you were laying it out?
I don't know. I mean, I was I just know I want to do the horns, and usually I do like a static, like standing shot, like with a Hellboy. But I don't know. I just kind of thought of the sword and picked the pose and went with it. Since we only had less than 2 hours, so.
Where did you put your pen? Did you start with the sword? Did you start with the hand or the foot? Where did you start?
I started with the head, and then I block out the shoulders, and then just kind of did a quick stick figure of the pose, basic pose, and then just kind of molded it from there. And I mean, I went into ink really quick just because it didn't really draw much of it with pencil. Kind of drew a lot of it with the pen, considering the time constraint. So.
Jamie, do you see all these kids with their right still drawing still? I see Ian and what people.
Done. I'm done.
But I made that decision to go with the black background, and then I wasn't sure if I was going to finish in time. But I got some details I can probably work on and come back in with the white pen and do a couple more details somewhere.
A little Kirby crackle up there by the sword. Is that what's going on?
A little bit. A little inspired by that.
That's awesome, Tony. This is pretty epic. All right, Jamie, who are we bringing to the main stage next?
Well, I think it's got to go Wesley.
Wesley. Hi, Wes. Big reveal.
There it is.
Nice.
Oh, it's fun.
Very clean.
I like the smoke coming out of the gun.
Smoking gun.
Good.
You got to hold it up the whole time. You got to keep holding it up.
Oh, okay.
Until we get done talking to you. That's really
Mike
cool.
Mungiello draws my favorite smoke in all of comics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was your thought process when did you like do some thumbnails or did you just start drawing?
I just kind of started drawing. I hadn't. I think I mentioned this earlier. I hadn't drawn Hellboy since like I was like I don't know, like 14 or something. So I did have to cheat and grab my favorite copy of a Hellboy comic, The Conqueror Worm, and look at it for reference because I was just like, there's no way I'm gonna remember what the fuck that hand looks like from like memory and like get it right. And sure enough, like it's weird. It's like what's that Mandela effect thing? I'm like, it has like 5 fingers, right? And then I looked in the comic, I'm like, nope, 4 fingers. Okay, good thing I grabbed the book.
All right, so can you hold that up again so we can?
Yeah, absolutely.
Where did your pencil go first?
The head. Like usually, I always do the face first. I tried. I think it was one of the Hernandez brothers who said a thing about like, oh, draw like the feet first. And every time I've tried to do that, it has been a disaster. And I'm like, all right, whatever. Like, just do what you know, I guess.
And if you could, what's the title of your piece?
Oh, the title, Hellboy.
All right, Jamie, where are we going next?
We're gonna go right down. So we'll do John next.
Just
Hi.
I didn't get a chance to go too hard with the buildings, but
Jesus Christ.
Oh my god.
Fuck, dude, that's awesome.
thanks, guys.
Oh yeah,
That
I
was
forgot
fun.
to tell people. Everybody can comment on this. It's not just Jamie and I. You guys can all comment too. Like, this is the family experience part right now.
Yeah, that's awesome, John.
Thanks, guys.
Great.
Yours too.
What is he saying there? What's in the bubble?
Time to take care of business.
Nice. Did you actually guide that bubble out?
Just quick with just a ruler. And then I just kind of did freehand around it. Yeah.
And are the thumbnails on the back of the page, or is it a different page?
Yeah, they're on the back of there. So one from below, one from above. I didn't like, and then I tried something else that was bad. So
added value if someone buys it.
Yeah, that's
Thanks,
crazy.
man.
I almost don't. I want you to sell that to me.
I'm happy to do that, man.
Yeah, we are going. That is not going to hit your calf gallery. I'm sorry, unless somebody. I mean, all right. So, what is your price on that?
I've been doing these for $150 this size.
Okay, so if anybody wants to pay more than $150, message John for that. But my starting bid is $150. And at the end of Comic Art Live, if nobody's bid higher than $150, I will buy that from you.
Oh, thanks, man. I will work on the buildings more for you.
He's gonna work on it. Oh my God! I mean, like, that was less than 2 hours of just listening to a bad podcast and drawing.
It kept me going, so it was good.
All right, it's time to bring Ian on. I'm just blown away.
How's that look?
Oh, awesome! Yeah.
Wow.
I want to read that book.
Yeah.
Killer.
That is really good too.
Am
I continuing to hold it up
for tiny smoke off of the foot on things? So that's you got me. You sold me.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Like
You totally got that gravity.
Like Tony,
there.
I was like, I don't know if I could finish it with all the black, but that's what I was doing at the last second, was throwing stars down. Some black.
Yeah. Nice.
I can totally feel like what the gravity is there. He's just like slightly floating, and yeah, it's great.
I'll definitely go back in. I'll make like moon or planetary shapes on the planets and fix the ground a little bit, but it's basically done. I'll throw it up.
That's cool. I just spent my money with John, or I spent my money with you.
That's all right, man.
Well, you know what? I'll tell my friend Anthony. I will tell him to check that piece out, because he's a huge Yosaki Yojimbo person as well. But like that is bonkers cool. Let's go. Let's get everybody on the main stage. There we go. All right, can everybody just hold? Oh! Well, we forgot. We forgot. Let me bring Jamie in so we can talk about his.
I just did it. I did it real quick in a sketchbook. This is why I wasn't talking for the first time. So there you go. A little bone.
Hell yeah.
Nice
bone action.
Nice.
I love it. Bone at the beginning of the story.
Yeah, great cartoon.
Yeah.
All right, so everybody, I'm going to take a screenshot. Everybody hold up their drawings. Make it happen. Everybody smile. Hold it. Oh, honestly, that is the most beautiful panel I've seen on this podcast ever. But no, that was really cool. Wow. I need to host more game show episodes. That's the most rewarding I've felt at the end of a podcast. Seeing five gentlemen just go crazy and make some amazing artwork. This was a lot of fun. So much fun.
I think it's good to grow, because I can get real like I don't know, I can overthink things and overwork things like crazy, and it's kind of cool to do these and just be like, all right, pressure, get it done before it's time to show it.
You gotta go with your intuition and just go with it.
Yeah,
it helps them to make better things sometimes.
Yeah.
We asked if Matt had to draw to next time. Yeah, okay, that's fine. We'll that's not gonna happen. That's why I have a nice camera that makes me look pretty. That's what I do. I do the camera stuff. I don't do the drawing stuff. So we asked Wes where he would like to get a commission, a person he would like to get a commission from. Ian, who would you like to get a commission from, and what would it be?
Oh man, I feel like I would want to get something from Jerome Opena. Is that how you say his name?
Yeah.
Or I don't know how to say her name, Bilkis. I would probably just ask her to do Supergirl or Helen from the book she's doing right now. I I mean, honestly, I would love to meet Jeff Smith and get a Jeff Smith bone. That would be awesome. I did.
That'd be pretty dope.
I did want to show this because you put Savage Dragon in the prompt, and I almost did it. This is like an actual Eric Larson Savage Dragon.
Oh, that's awesome.
He drew that for me in the 90s. I was like a very little kid, and I went up to him, and he did it for free.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
He was the
That's
first
amazing.
comic I ever bought was Spider-Man from him, and that's why I'm drawing. So it was fun to see that.
Yeah.
Tony, who would you want to get commission from?
I mean, I would love to get something from Kevin Eastman, but I own like a head sketch from Eastman and Laird separately, but like I'd love to get like an actual nice piece, but I don't know. I don't think he does commissions, but Daniel Warren Johnson's one of my favorite artists, but I've already gotten a commission from him, so that's kind of I got a cable from him many years ago, like many years ago.
That is a smart investment, my friend.
You don't have it on hand, do you?
It's on my calf actually. You can check it out. I'll send you a link to it.
Hey, that was the best half plug I've ever.
That was
unscripted.
Not for sale though. It's not for sale.
Yeah.
But yeah. No, it just that would be like my all-time favorite to get something from Eastman. But yeah.
John, who would you like to get a sketch from or a commission?
Well, I wouldn't be able to because he passed away, but Steve Dillon would be. I would love that. Preacher was always huge for me, so. Or Daniel Warren Johnson.
Daniel Warren Johnson, man. I think everybody wants a DW show. Yo, it's not Steve Dillon, but it is Glenn Fabry. He's right after.
Oh yeah, it's amazing.
He's right after
sick.
Eric Larson in the book. They were all like sitting right next to each other. It was,
that's great. It's like my three people from my childhood. Right there.
and Michael Kaluta, you guys remember him? He did covers for Books of Magic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a piece from him. And I was like this little kid, and like they did it for free, which is terrible.
That's even better,
back on it, but when you're a little kid, I heard a story that like Peach Momoko's recent appearance at NYCC got out of control, and there were a lot of adults sending their kids up to the table to try to get free stuff, and that's like a move. You send your kid up to try to get a free drawing, like the scam on the scene.
I have a few pages from Jeff Lemire, and I think I'd probably want like a commission from him.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh,
I
cool.
love Orcas too.
Yeah, he does like a double. He's got the eyes open and stuff because the watercolors are really cool.
Is
Like,
that from a book?
Yes. The flies. What's the flies? What's the fly book? I'm blanking on it now.
Fish flies.
Fish flies.
Fish
Yeah.
flies. Yeah, I saw that in the it was the CAF newsletter. It was like Jeff Lemire is having a sale on his pages, and I was like, I think it was like $125 a page, and I got like 2 pages from him from Fish Flies.
Wow.
And his stuff is gorgeous. But yeah, no, this has been. Is there anybody in Hall I that you guys have? How much time we got left? Oh, we got 7 minutes. Has anybody like explored Hall I and have checked out other artists and been impressed with what they're doing?
I haven't yet, but the stuff I saw at IC3 was pretty awesome. So I'm gonna go through it. I've been just nervous to do this.
Okay, okay. So we can change it up to favorite memory from IC3. This is how we move on the fly.
Hearing you guys tell the story about you tripping over the girl with the pizza. And
Oh my gosh.
Jamie being pissed off and Eli laughing, and then watching it on YouTube was pretty good too. It wasn't as bad as it sounded, but it was still pretty funny.
I'm so glad that I was off camera and that wasn't actually filmed.
I wish that was on camera. That's like pure gold, pure comedy gold.
The guy who was recording those panels thought it was a bit that we planned. He afterwards he was like, "Oh yeah, that was a really funny bit," and I was like, "That wasn't a bit. That was me actually being mad."
Big shout out.
The drink and draw is like, I don't have like a specific memory, but the drink and draw is epic because everybody both nights just hanging out in the hotel lobby.
Yeah, that's
awesome.
really
If
fun.
just to sell art and meet new people who want to buy your art, it's just like it's way more gratifying to just be in a room full of artists who are awesome and
Yeah, I
friendly.
agree with Ian. That was the most fun for me too.
Yeah, I need to make a medal because I think Jamie was one of the last people that went to bed on the after party. Like,
Wow.
Ian
you know,
beat me.
No, I won.
Ian won.
Eli and Jamie were the second to last, and I was the last.
We
I didn't sleep.
We went
I
to
just
bed at
stayed up.
6 o'clock that morning,
Yeah.
and you championed on. That was,
Yeah, I have a problem sleeping. I need to like get better at it. I mean, I have to sleep more than I ever did, but I stayed up all night that day and went straight on the train and went home.
Wow.
I do need to give a shout out to Starcat Galaxia. They're the ones who created the I'll Be at Comic Art Live, that badge that everybody was using. And they are an awesome couple. And you should definitely check out their booth because he has a whole bunch of original artwork up from the pages of their book. And he does some crazy Space Cat watercolor stuff going on there. So
yeah, I think it's all Copic marker. I think it's all marker. I just from last time we talked about stuff. Yeah, I think they do everything is Copic, so it's all just inks, and if you've ever worked with those things, you know they take forever to and it's all like traditional pages. Yeah, it's wild.
Starcat Galaxy, is that what you said?
It's a GALAXIA.
Oh yeah, they're right at the top.
Yeah, it's the top one. But they were in at IC3. They were in like the front room when you came up the stairs. And Ian, since you have like a dope hat, you need to get one of their dope hats. I will send you a picture of the hat that I got from them and just the details that they put in, because it's panels, and then underneath the bill there's panels as well of like artwork, and it's the coolest hat I own.
Did they came on the show you guys did, or the warm-up show where you interviewed everybody? They were on that?
Yeah.
Couple? Yeah, okay. Yeah.
All right, as we wind down, Wesley, do you have any final thoughts before I kick you off the stage?
No, I mean, just thank you guys for I don't know, thank you all for being here, and I don't know, this was a lot of fun.
Yeah, Wes, I really appreciate your time. Your Hellboy rocked, and like the jump, and you got so much good stuff going on. Check out your booth, and have a great weekend, my friend.
Yeah, you guys as well.
John, you can't wave. John, you can't wave for Wesley. Now we have to talk to you, then you wave. That's how it works.
I was saying goodbye.
All right, John. What are your final thoughts as we close out the floor?
Thanks for buying my piece, and thanks for letting me draw and hang out with you guys. It was a good Saturday.
Awesome, my friend. Take care. Hi, Tony.
Hey, thank you for having me. I look forward to IC3 next year. It's a great show. I'm always happy about it, and I think you're onto something here with this format because it was a blast. So
I appreciate it, man. The drawing game show, it's gonna happen. Take care. Ian.
Yeah, I'll second what everybody else said. Just thank you guys for doing this. Thank you, Bill and Cassera, and just the whole community. And looking forward to meeting more people who love comic art. This is an awesome thing that's going on.
And Yosagi is going to be in your booth tomorrow.
Yeah, definitely, for sure.
Yeah. Bye, man. Take care.
Thank you, guys.
See you.
All right, what are we at? We're at like 90 seconds before we get cut off, my friend.
Yeah. Okay. Great. You want to just sit here? You want to awkward pause?
Let's change my chair. No, you don't have to change my chair. I can just slide you over, man.
That's right.
Aha! Hey, there we are.
Now I'm looking directly at you.
If you want to see this crazy crew, we're going to be at HeroesCon in a month and a half. So we'll be wandering around. I know. So I can't wait to see Stingray will be there too. But yeah, man, this was a lot of fun, and I really appreciate everyone. Go check out Matt DiTullio's sale that he has going on. He's going to be donating a portion of the sales to the SPCA, which is awesome. But thank you for being part of the Comic Art Live 11 Hall Eye Spotlight panel. This is crazy. Have a great weekend, guys.
See ya.